First of all, I would like we should much more talk about crossover innovation and not just innovation. Innovation is what we did in Europe 100 years ago. We were very good to create companies like Siemens, like Bosch, like Renault, like Saint-Gobain. Beautiful companies created, and then during 100 years we did what? Incremental innovation. Protecting the innovation that we had 100 years ago. The thing that we now are suddenly crossed by are the Chinese and the American companies entering our markets and disrupting our industries. They are not thinking about making a car better, but they are thinking how can we avoid a car in our society. They are not thinking about how to improve retail, they just think how can we change retail models. So these disruptors, they are challenging us today, and the only innovation rankings that we should look at is crossover and disruptive innovation. In that disruptive innovation, it's true that the quadruple helix is important, and I think that more and more government and citizens are aware of their role. I think the governments and the European Commission or even regional authorities, they start to pump money in the system. When you see the money that is invested by Horizon 2020 into experimentation, it's quite impressive numbers, and the citizens, we call that the grassroots initiatives. You go to Aarhus in Denmark, you see what is happening there, a post-industrial city, you will be amazed. It's like a Woodstock of entrepreneurship. They take on each building like this one, they take it, legally or illegally, they don't give a shit, they just take it, they use public data, they use the money that they receive from regional and European authorities, and they play with it. Two components that are not yet there, because I think here the industry, we talk about startups and SMEs, and I think a couple of years ago, Europe was lacking behind China and US in terms of entrepreneurship, but I think today we can say that the mindset is there. This is a very dramatic situation. Today we are working here in the internet, and we should move to there. Why this is dramatic? Because these central nodes, they are today the monopolistic gatekeepers. We have 15 companies in the US and China today that we can call without any problem monopolistic gatekeepers. And they have a stock market value today of 4.5 to 5 trillion. So they can buy, destroy, control the entire innovation process. They can go to a city like Toronto and say, I will do for you your smart city strategy. They can do that. They can today, if they want, they can buy Renault, they can buy Saint-Gobain, they can buy Siemens easily. We have let that happen, and they use our data, the data of the citizens, they use it to become so powerful. We need to review that. It's not a level playing field. It's something that can destroy Europe. We can only become back around the table between China and Europe if we move into that direction. We will need regulation. We will need protection from the European Commission. It's not fun to say, but through privacy, data protection, and many things, we will need to say, this is not the world in which we want to live. We want to live in that world. I'm today talking in the name of Brussels, and what I try to bring around the table here is that in an ideal world, Susanna could call the ecosystem that we try to represent. We created a non-for-profit called Brussels Creative, and in Brussels Creative, we have tried to identify in Brussels who believes in creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And I have 41 incubation centers, 107 co-working spaces, and I have etc., etc. Many places that we have identified, and in total there are 1,089 dots on the map of Brussels that are believers of the importance of creativity and innovation. Those 1,089 I will start playing with. I will start animating them, bringing them regularly together, let them work on European challenges, let them work on corporate missions, let them work on regional activities, and those believers, hopefully little bit by little bit, will bring other people in the ecosystem. And what I like as a concept is the ecosystem as a service. Like you had software as a service, well, I try to bring around the table, through a non-for-profit organization in Brussels or at the European level, it's to bring that ecosystem of creative mind, creative people, around the table that you can use for your own challenges.